again. I hope that you've had a look at the video I've posted, the one prior to this, about setup and mobility. So I've just done that, so I'm pretty warm anyway. So I'm just going to set myself up, do a couple of roll downs, and we're going to get started. So if you're new to Pilates, things to remember: don't hold your breath. Do things at your own level, don't automatically go to the hardest level. And when I talk about engaging your core, just think about drawing this area, your navel, towards your spine. It's the easiest way of thinking about it, unless you want to go into it much deeper. So I'm going to stand sideways on. I've got my feet hip width apart, my legs are long but not locked out. My spine is beautifully long. I'm in neutral spine, just double check. Yeah, I'm in neutral spine. Shoulders are down and back. I'm standing as tall as possible but not standing to attention. I'm going to take a breath in, and as I breathe out, I'm going to engage my core, tuck my chin in and roll on down. So remember, don't look out your knees, don't stick your bottom out, let your arms hang or slide. And when you're going to go as far as this, I'm going to take a breath in, breathe out and restack. And remember, if you're one of the people who doesn't like doing a roll down, just make your way to the floor, and we're going to do our first exercise flat on the floor. One more and I'm going to the floor. Take your breath in. As I breathe out, my core's already engaged, so I don't have to worry about that. I'm rolling on down, trying not to stick my bottom out and look out my knees. And then when I get to the floor, I'm going to take a breath in and breathe out, and I'm going to walk out to a high plank. You don't have to do that. You can go to your hands and knees and then the floor. And then from here, I'm going to go to the floor, but seeing as I'm not on my mat, I'm now going to do a quick shuffle onto my mat, and I'm going to lie down like that. Okay, your legs are about hip width apart, long, including your feet, please. Your arms are in what I call a W shape. Elbows about opposite your shoulders, but it doesn't have to be exact. Shoulder blades are down in your back pockets. Your neck is in line with the rest of your spine. So for me, that means hovering my head slightly off the mat. So think about engaging your core. So at the moment, you're just lying. Take a breath in. As you breathe out, engage your core. So pull up or just pull in. So if you're just pulling in, you will feel your navel drawing away from the floor. You should feel your hips on the floor. You should feel your ribs on the floor, but certainly not your navel. So we're going to do a rotation exercise. So take another breath in, and as you breathe out, you are going to rotate your front arm up and over. And as you breathe in, you're going to come down to the floor. Breathe out the opposite side. So your hips stay fixed to the floor. Breathing out, watch where that arm goes. Breathe in, keep your shoulders down. Breathe out. Breathe in. You're trying to go that a little bit further each time if you can. Breathe out. Breathe in. So have you got the idea? I'm going to be quiet about the breathing now. I'd just like to do 2 more on each side, please. Are your hips staying down? Are your shoulders staying away from your ears? Remember, don't wear your shoulders as earrings. Okay, that's option 1. You might want to stick with that, or you might want to take your arms a bit longer. So same idea, shoulders are down and back, neck in line with spine. So this time, instead of a bent arm raising, you've got a long arm to raise. And if you wish, you can slide the opposite one away. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to rotate with my back arm so you can see what happens with the front arm. So I've got my core engaged. Take a breath in to get ready. On my out breath, so you slide the opposite arm away, still trying to keep your hips close to the floor. Watching where that rotated arm goes. What's happening to your legs? Are they having a sleep? They should be firmly fixed into the floor because they're providing a base so you can rotate around it. One more each side. Breathing out, breathing in, shoulders away from ears. Last one. Okay, if you feel that your back needs a stretch, all you do is push back onto your heels and stretch your arms forward. You don't have to do that if you don't wish to. So can you remember we've got two versions of the upper body. We're going to come back to that in a moment. We're going to work our legs. So stack your hands, forehead on top of your hands, shoulder blades down and back. So there is a difference, we're going to lengthen one leg then the other. And there is a difference between lengthening and lifting, so I'll try and show you the difference. So I take a breath in, on my out breath I engage my core, and I lift one leg. Watch again, out breath, in breath. So that's a lift. We don't want to lift, we're going to lengthen. So watch the movement. Hopefully you can see from here, my leg is going to lengthen. Can you see the difference between that and that? If you think about working from your hip rather than from your knee, when you lengthen, your thigh will float off the floor ever so slightly, but it is quite different to lifting. So let's do alternate sides. Check your shoulders, core engaged. Is your navel off the floor? Is your neck in line with spine? It's almost like you're trying to pull that big bone at the top of your leg, your femur, trying to pull the head of it out of your hip sockets. But stretch, stretch, stretch. Did you get it? Have you got it? Last one. Okay, now can we join the two together, the upper body and the lower body? Now, if you think about it, when you move, when you walk, you walk opposite arm, opposite leg, opposite arm, opposite leg. So that's what we're going to do here. We're going to emphasise the diagonal movement that we normally make. Somehow I always manage to get this wrong. So remember, you've got two options with the upper body. So if I rotate the front arm, I'm going to extend my back leg. So let's try the bent arm version first. Shoulders down and back, neck long. Breath in, ready. Breath out, core. Feel that navel drawing away from the floor, and off we go. Rotate and extend. Switch sides. So remember, you are not lifting that leg, you're lengthening. Feel your toes pulling away from your hip. How about the long arm? So, it's up to you. Try and rotate a little bit further each time. I'm getting a bit of cramp in my toes. One more each side. Ouch. Then take a stretch if you wish. Oh wow, my toes didn't like that very much. If you don't want to be on your knees, just roll onto your side facing me and stretch that way. Okay. Wriggle your toes if you're having problems with them like me. So now we're going to work on our side, and you're going to work in a straight line. So if you've got a mat, I would line your body up along the back edge. Okay, so you've got your ear resting down on your arm. If you don't like that, you can always put a cushion there. You've got your hips stacked, your shoulders stacked, you're looking forward and you are long. Now if you find working in this position affects your lower back, do a hip hinge. So all I've done there is I've brought my legs slightly forward. So I can see my toes just by looking down, whereas there, I can't see my toes. So it's up to you. You can stay in a straight line or you can hip hinge, it depends. Okay, we're going to squeeze legs and we're going to float them. We are definitely lifting this time. But before we do anything, we're going to take a breath in and get really long. A breath out, engage your core, and then try and lengthen both legs. Don't lift them, just lengthen. Can you see it? So I'm going to lengthen both legs. And as I do that, I create a little gap at my waist. You probably can't see it, but I can feel it. So, if you find 2 legs is too much, you can't balance, just do 1 leg. So take a breath in to get ready. Out breath, squeeze and float. In breath, float down. So all it is, breathe out, breathe in. So if you're finding this really hard, just do 1. And if you're still struggling there, bring that bottom leg forward, just do 1, and then you've got a broader surface area as your base. So you've got lots of alternatives there. Breathing out and in. Breathing out. So what you're trying to do here is squeeze your legs together throughout. Now I know that some of you are great on your side, not like me, and I know that some of you will be there already. Look what happens when I do it. Oh, crikey. I'm really struggling. So that's up to you. If you can do that without wobbling, that's fantastic. Breathing out, breathing in. Okay, adding on if you wish, but remember you don't have to. Make sure that your supporting arm is palm down. You might need your hand down for this. We have done it before. Take a breath in as you breathe out, as well as squeezing your legs together and floating them. You're going to lift your armpits and your upper arm. And breathe in and return everything to the start. Breathe out. Breathe in. So you might just be still doing double legs. You might be doing 1 leg. You might be doing 1 leg with the underneath leg bent. Whatever works for you. Don't try something that you're really struggling with. Right, what I like to do when we've done a few of those is try and add on. Whether I'll be able to do it or not is another matter. So let's see. Okay, so this time on your out breath, you're going to raise and then you're going to take that up. But make sure your shoulder doesn't follow the arm, and breathe in. Could we manage 1 more? Woo, she's going. Told you I'm not very good on my side. Okay, bring your knees into your chest. Maybe a quick massage. Then we're changing side and we're going to do exactly the same. So remember, this is where I have a struggle with my furniture. Let's have a look. Doesn't matter that you can't see my feet because you know what you're doing. Right, so you're long. And remember, if this doesn't suit you, you do a hip hinge, you bring both legs slightly forward. If you don't want to do 2 legs on this side, remember you've got the option of 1 or 1 with a bent leg so you get more support. I'm just making sure I don't crack my foot on a coffee table. Okay, right, take a breath in and lengthen. As you breathe out, engage your core, then lengthen both legs to try and create that gap. And here we go, breathing out and in. So loads of control. Now if you wanted to add a bit to this, when you go up, let the top leg press against the bottom leg so it's got to work harder. And when you go down, let the bottom leg press upwards against the top one so the top one's got to work harder. Breathe out. Have you still got that little gap at your waist? I'm consciously having to keep mine off the floor. Are you still looking forward? Are your shoulders still stacked? Are you really long? Are you breathing? Is your core engaged? One more. Okay, make sure your palms down. Let's try. I'm going to have to move a bit further, I think. So this time we're going to try and lift our armpit and our upper arm. Whoops. Are you ready? Take a breath in. As you breathe out, legs, armpit, upper arm. Breathe in. Breathe out. Notice that I've still got my spare hand on the floor. I'm sure some of you will have yours down the side. Right, can we add this spare arm to vertical? I'll try. You ready? Breath in, breath out. Gosh, I'm having to work hard there. Breathe in. Not very controlled. Let's try again. Oh! Last one coming up. I'll try and control this one. Breathe in. Oh. Not very good on my side. So we'll need to stretch out our glutes and we're going to stretch out our hamstrings as well. So let's combine them. So if you prefer, no, we'll do the hamstrings first. So neck beautifully long, chin tucked in, one leg up, hold behind thigh, calf or even the foot. We're going to be stretching from knee up to hip. We've got 3 strands of your hamstrings there. So the spare leg can be long or bent. So try and keep your shoulders relaxed. Every time you breathe out, try and bring that leg a bit closer in. You can try a flex foot and you can really feel that there. Or you can have a pointed foot, but don't move between the 2 positions too rapidly. So you should be feeling a lovely stretch up there. You can bring your upper body up if you wish, it's up to you. So we all stretch at different rates. So if I say let's move on, if you're not ready to move on, just stay doing what you're doing. Now then, we're going to do a glute stretch, hip stretch from here. If you prefer to do the one where you take your ankle across your thigh, please do. But because we've got one leg up, I'm going to use this one. So the leg that's up, you're going to take it slightly across the centre line of your body, but you try and keep that low to the floor. So you're stretching now up there into your butt more. And again, you breathe. Make sure you've not got your chin sticking up in the air. So you should be feeling that stretch. And again, you can flex your foot. Makes quite a difference. When you're ready, but only when you are ready, let's change sides. So start with the hamstring. Remember, non-stretching leg can stay bent. Shoulders relaxed. Hold on a fleshy bit, don't hold on your knee. So remember, this is a stretch for your hamstrings which run from knee up into hip. And again, if you want to bring upper body in, please do. If you're not ready to move on to your glute stretch, keep with that. If you want to change to this one, switch to that. Otherwise, just take your leg slightly across your centre line, but keeping your buttock down. So this is the stretch coming up your outer thigh into your buttock. And when you're ready, but don't move if you're not ready, just swing yourself up to sitting. Okay, we're just going to do one seated exercise and it's called a roll. It's called a roll up really, but I call it a roll back because most of the time when I'm teaching it, I always start from this position. So you've got choices. You've got to be sitting tall, obviously in neutral, so you're not sitting like this or sitting like this, so you've got that lovely neutral spine. You can have your legs long, or you can have your knees bent, feet flat to the floor. I prefer long legs. Okay, to start your rolling action, you've got to tilt your pelvis. So you've got to imagine somebody's behind you, tilting there. So it's that sort of action. You can try. If you put your fingers around the front of your hips, your thumb around the back, and it's that sort of action. So hopefully you can see I'm going from vertical into a curve. Can you see that? I've not got my glasses on, so I can't see it. There we go. So before you do that, you take a breath in and lengthen. As you breathe out, you engage your core and tilt your pelvis. And as you roll back, that curve works its way up your spine. Right, so if you've got long legs, you've got long arms. If you've got bent legs, you've got long arms, or you can slide. And if you really struggle on the way up, you can really pull in. So it's up to you. Okay, shoulders down and back. Nice neutral spine, weight evenly balanced. Take a breath in. As you breathe out, engage your core. There's that tilt, and we go down. I'm going to stop here, so I'm going to take a breath in, breathe out, and roll on up. Same again, breathe out. Now, a lot of teachers, like their students, for want of a better word, when they come back to vertical, to keep going forward. So it's up to you. If you want to, when you get back to vertical, you take that breath in. As you breathe out, you just take yourself forward. Entirely up to you. So let's go again. So as you round your back, don't let your shoulders sneak up to your ears. Breathe in, breathe out. Let's do one more. Okay, we're going to do one more, and we're going to go right the way to the floor. And I know some people get to about here and then they collapse. So if you get to here and you know you can't control it, just take both arms down and control yourself down symmetrically. So try and go as slowly as possible. Are you ready? Shoulders down and back, neutral spine. So that C shape is working its way up your spine. Shoulders are still away from ears. And then you can take your arms overhead. And if you're not colliding with the furniture like me, you can have a full body stretch. And then from there, we're going to come up into our setup position. So arms are by side, palms down, shoulders away from ears. Bend your knees, feet flat to the floor. So your feet are hip width apart, so are your knees. Okay, at the moment, I don't know whether you can see, probably can't, I've got a big arch in my spine. Can you see that? There. So I'm not in neutral. So I need to find neutral. So to do that, we take our lower back into the mat. That's one extreme. I'll move that arm. And then we take our lower back away from the mat. That's the other extreme. We're not lifting our butt. So it's just that area again. And once you've been through the extremes, make it smaller and just come to somewhere in the middle. We're looking for that magic neutral spine again. Two ways of checking. One way, you're going to have to pop your head up. You can look at your thumbs and fingers again. But the easiest way is just to slide a flat hand under your lower back. And it should go under, not too easily and not with much difficulty. Okay, we are going to warm up our six pack. That's the upper layer of muscles. We try and work that transverse abdominis, which is underneath, but we need to warm up this lot. So we're either here or we're in tabletop. In tabletop, knees are over hips, shins parallel to the floor. I'm still in neutral. So I take a breath in. On my out breath, my core's already engaged, so I float on up. I'm now on the tips of my shoulder blades. I'm looking towards my navel. That's pretty flat. If it's like a mountain, you've not got your core engaged, I'm afraid. Breathe in, lower down. So as you come up, your legs should be still. As you go down, your legs should be still. Options for this, add a head support. But you're not pulling up your head, you're still working from there. And you keep your elbows wide, breathing out, breathing in. One more, any version, breathing out, breathing in. Take a stretch. You might want to take a stretch there, or you might want to take a stretch there. Okay, we're going to do one of Joe Pilates' 34 mat exercises called the 100. I can hear some groans already. Behave. And we're going to split it into two 50s. We're going to, anyway, I'll explain that as we go along. If you've done Pilates before, you'll know exactly what the 100 is. It's a strength exercise for your core and lumbar spine, as are most of them. But also, we've got this beating action of our arms to help improve your circulation. It's not from your fingers or your wrists or your elbows. It's right from the mat here. So, either with feet down or tabletop. Let's try 10 beats. Are you ready? Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, it's not big, it's not tiny. Somewhere about there. Okay, I'm creating quite a draft there. Right, what you're trying to do is breathe in for the first 5 and breathe out for the second 5. Okay, so what we're going to do, we're going to do 50. I'll try and count you, but I can't speak, I can't give you teaching points as well. So we're trying to stay in neutral, we're trying to work from here, and we're trying to breathe and keep our core engaged. And apart from that, it's quite simple really. So, legs in tabletop, have them together if you wish. If it's the first time for you, you could do everything here, or you could do 25 beats with one leg up, 25 beats, other leg up. Okay, I'm going to have there. So I'll try and count you. Right, I've got my core engaged, I'm in neutral. Are we ready? Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 2, 2, 3, 4, 5, 3, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 2, 3, 4, 5, 8, 2, 3, 4, 5, 9, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10, 2, 3, 4, 5. Take a breather. Okay. This time around, you can either do exactly the same, or you can work in this position. Remember when we did our abdominal preparation, when we came up, we were there. So you could use that and work in that position. Okay? You don't have to. You could work longer legs with head down or head up. Or you could move between bent and long. Or long, lower and up. Your choice. Have I confused you? Because I've confused myself. Right, stick with what you've got or play about with your head position or your leg position. Are you ready? I'm going to start here. 50 more beats. Are you ready? Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 2, 2, 3, 4, 5, 3, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 2, 3, 4, 5, 8, 2, 3, 4, 5, 9, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10, 2, 3, 4, 5. If you've got the head off the floor, low with control, and then your legs. Then take a stretch. So if you didn't see what I was doing then, you can always recheck the video later on if you really want to. Okay, we're going to work our hips now. Your hip is a ball and socket joint like your shoulder, so there's loads of movement available in both areas, but we don't often work our hips through the full range of movement. So, regular setup position, neutral spine, working leg, tabletop, not working from the knee, working from the hip. We're going to make circles. So, the breathing is this. You take a breath in to get ready. As you breathe out, you engage your core. And then you can either do one breath per circle, so that would be an in-breath. And the next one would be an out-breath. Or you could do in-breath, out-breath, your choice. In-breath, out-breath. Change direction. In-breath. See what's happening though? That leg's getting in the way. I'll explain in a minute. In-breath, out-breath. In-breath, out-breath. Don't let that heel droop down. Right, for me, this leg here is annoying me, so I'm going to get rid of it. So I've got a lot more movement. So that's in-breath, out-breath. In-breath, out-breath. Okay. I quite like to work with a long leg. Some of you won't. It just allows you more freedom of movement. It's entirely up to you. So let's go back to the first direction. In breath, out breath. In breath, out breath. This is my dodgy hip. If you can hear the noises, oh dear, it's clunking and clicking like crazy. And then I'm going to change direction. So if you've tried that, you hate it, go back to that. But remember, you're still working from your hip. In breath, out breath. This direction is quieter actually. In breath, out breath. One more. Okay, let's change sides. So let's try. If you want to go to the option that works for you, please go straight there. I'm going to start from scratch in case anybody needs some help. Right, so working from your hip with the knee bent. In breath, out breath. In breath, out breath. And actually I'm being really lazy because this leg is moving around. I've got to squeeze my buttock more and press my foot into the floor more to keep it still. I'm going to reverse directions after this circle. Right, in breath, see again, out breath. So I'm going to get rid of that. In breath, much better. Out breath. In breath, out breath. I'm going back to long leg, but you don't have to. I'm going to reverse directions. In breath. Ooh, out breath. Did you hear that? I'm surprised that you can't hear that. Oh, crikey. One more. In breath. Oh, out breath. Changing directions. In breath. Try and keep your hips down on the floor. How are you doing? Have you found an option that suits you? I'm going to do one more and then that's it. I can't stand the noise and the crunching that's going on inside. Okay, no real stretch for this. I'm going to bring my knees into my chest. Okay, we're going to do, I've no idea how long we've been working, but we're just going to do a bridge to get our spine working. So, neutral spine, feet flat on the floor, hip width apart. Remember, when you're doing a bridge, we're trying to make it so it's like a wave that's travelling up and down our body. If you've got tight hips today, take your feet wider. Arms should be relaxed, neck should be relaxed. You've got to squeeze your buttocks and press your feet firm into the floor. Breath in, ready. Out breath, engage your core, come out of neutral into a flat back, lift your hips and then work your way up your spine. Stop when you need to, but what we're aiming for ultimately is a diagonal line from knees to shoulders. Take a breath in at the top, breathe out. Work your way down your spine. flat back, but you move on to your neutral. And again. One more. Knees into chest. If you want to massage your lower back, rock gently side to side. Okay, now I'd like to take a full stretch. I can just about do it. Okay, this is where if you're wearing glasses, you've got to be careful. You've got to be careful you don't smash your nose, and you've got to roll very carefully. So we're trying to go from back onto our fronts without taking an arm across or a leg across. We're just going to try and rotate hips or shoulders. So make sure you're long and stretched, but your shoulders away from your ears. Core engaged loads. So can you see I'm moving from my hips? When you get to your side, go very carefully so you don't smash your face. And then when you get to your front, if you've rolled off your mat like I have, if you're on a mat, move back onto your mat. Take a stretch. If you want to stretch your hips, take your knees wide. If you just want to do your back, keep your knees close together. And then come to hands and knees. We've not been in this position today, so check your hands are under your shoulders, your knees under your hips, shoulder blades down and back, chin tucked in for a long neck, so you're not looking forward, you're not looking at your thighs. Okay, neutral spine needed here, so take a breath in. As you breathe out, engage your core. Lift your midsection, head drops, tailbone tucks under. Breathe in, midsection drops. Head rises, tailbone sticks out. So that's your two extremes again, which we've used a few times today. So we want to end up somewhere in the middle, and it's a bit of guesswork here. There's no way of testing, it's just a way of hoping you've got it. Okay, when you're ready, take a breath in. As you breathe out, engage your core, tuck your toes, lift your hips high, and then take your weight backwards. Okay, right. We need hands and feet close together, and if you're one of the ones who doesn't do a roll up, please get to your feet any way you wish. I'm going to jump my feet into my hands to do this. You can just walk them. So if you're going to jump, your heels lift, your knees bend, you look forward and you jump your feet to your hands. Then you take a breath in, and as you breathe out, you slowly reset your spine. Hips over knees, shoulders over hips, long neck. Okay, we've stretched our hamstrings, let's stretch our quadriceps, and it's a good balance. So take your weight on one foot. Now if you struggle to pick up and hold that foot, just keep your knees together and bring your heel as close to your thigh as you can. If you can get hold, knees close, pull your heel into your butt, push your hips forward, lift your chest. You might want to add that as well. So you should be feeling a stretch down the front of your thigh. Let's change sides. Whoops. So core needs to be engaged lots. Here we go. And again, if you can't get hold of your foot, just bend your knee, bring it to the other knee. If you want to add that, drop your shoulder down. Push your hips forward. Okay, that's it for today. I will post another one by next weekend, but I will be on Facebook Live at 10 AM on Thursday. Thank you. Goodbye.